Hi, I'm Kris Turnbull and welcome to my home. This property was built in 1869, which is period of Victorian. So the house is very tall but lean with high ceilings and everything. The house when we bought it was a very different environment. This house was filled with many bedrooms, many rooms and all of that, and what we wanted to do was recreate the atmosphere to make it much more lifestyle orientated. So we actually reduced the bedrooms and turned it into a really nice lifestyle 3-bedroom lifestyle home. So the entrance hall, it had to be impact because on a Victorian home, your main feature is your staircase. The biggest impact is the red walls. This is a traditional technique where silk makers would actually produce the silk and pull the silk through water to give this, they call it a moire effect. So it gives this sort of watermark wave movement through the silk fabric. The room downstairs, the main living room, I wanted this environment to be more dark and a little bit more moody. I want it to feel really, really comfortable. So the artwork in that room, well, I love art, and art for me should never match or make sense to anything around it. It should just be what it is. So I have a piece of surrealism there. I have a combination of classical art above the fireplace. So the periods of the art are mid-century, traditional and contemporary. And I love the mix of what that creates and the reactions that people have from it. In the kitchen, it naturally is the north side of the house. So what we did was we took the internal courtyard and we brought that into the kitchen to create this very social spill-out zone where you've got your sofas, your chairs, you've got your roof lantern, we've turned into the ceiling. So flooding of light from the roof, from the sides, and then from the back we put a stable door in, so equally the door can half open. So we've tried to introduce light and contrast in many ways. We very much wanted to drop that, albeit narrow, but we've been able to create that island space. And rather than try and make the room bright, because it's never going to be bright, what we've decided to do is go deep and dark and moody in that palette. So we've used a huntsman green palette on the paintwork, we've used bronze handles, we've smoked the oak, and then we've used a quartzite worktop. For sure our kitchen, like we've all these rooms in this house, but the kitchen for sure is where we end up dancing around the place and got the tunes on. 10 years ago, whenever I first saw this house, when I came into the room that we're sitting in now, this is what made me fall in love with the house and immediately want to buy it. So everything right from the curtains, which are from Deighan Milano, this is inverted weave. So the weave of the fabric is actually exposed rather than hidden, which I love. So it feels like contemporary art. The chair that I'm sitting on now is mid-century from a Portuguese design house. And then I've got my coffee tables, which I wanted to feel semi-precious and a bit special. So the coffee tables are done in crystal, rock crystal, parchment and seagrass, and then gilded over the top. And the organic form of those centres the social part of this room. The baby grand, which my mum and dad bought me for a housewarming, which was the coolest present ever. Many's a night, there's people playing on it and there's drinks going and the tunes and the crack's great. Christoph and I were in Antwerp at a gallery exhibition, and an artist, Paul Marat, who was very famous in the 50s, he had passed away and his wife was selling her personal collection that he had painted that was in their home. We bought the piece that's above the sofa, and that piece is an original piece from 1958 and one of his private collection pieces, and that was the inspiration for the colour palette and the whole concept of this space. So a lot of people think it's crazy to take what was a 5-bedroom house and convert it into 3. But as I tell all my clients, it's about designing your home for you. I believe that you should live in your home, and the idea of having this sort of museum concept that you don't use half the space, for me is crazy. So what we did was we took a small box room and 2 guest rooms, and we converted that into 1 suite. So we created a really nice bathroom, a really nice bedroom linking through to dressing room and ensuite. The inspiration of this space, I wanted to bring nature into the house, and I wanted to do it in a subtle, clever way, and inspiration both with furniture and textiles. So I also wanted it moody, a little bit like the lounge on the ground floor, where it's that atmosphere, it's a softer palette, it's a little bit more zen and a little bit more calm. but with pops of depth and colour. Bedside table is by a combination. It's by a designer in Portugal, but they also work with jewellery houses, and they create these beautiful pieces of brasswork. So you'll see there's little bugs and flowers and branches and all that kind of stuff going on the handles and things. We've got olive blown glass table lamp, which again is all sort of that hint to the colour of the nature of the vibe of the space. We've used woods like ebony and brasswork and natural materials to just link it all. And the wallpaper in the ensuite, I wanted it to be strong and geometric and very masculine in form. So I worked with Cole & Son to create this very geometric black and gold and white structured, but the layering from the bedroom into the dressing and into the ensuite, from a distance, it draws you towards it, and it looks great. And then we've kept the materiality of the tiles and the sanitary ware and things much more calm and sober. So many of our friends have young kids, or if we have friends over from Belgium, they all need somewhere to sleep, and we wanted to create a space that was a really cool space to go into. So you've got a toilet and a sink, and the magic of the Cole & Son wallpapers that we've pulled into what is 2 double beds in a big attic space that is now a fantastic bedroom space. And we partnered that with Etro bed linen, so the traditional Italian damasks and paisleys, along with Cole & Son, who partnered with Fornasetti to create this amazing sort of cloud effect. Because when you're up that high, 88 steps in the sky, you do feel like you're in the clouds. And we wanted to be a little bit sort of tongue-in-cheek with that and showcase the fact that this is a really cool space to have to sleep in. It's quaint and cool and fun and a bit magic. Like, my brother's kids come up here and they just love it. They just pile up there and carry on. So it works very well.